The office was too quiet. Rizwan sat behind the security desk, tapping his pen against the logbook. Midnight had settled over the glass towers of Karachi's business district, and not a single soul remained inside except him. His flashlight leaned against the chair. The CCTV monitors hummed softly, showing floors stacked like empty shells. Then it came, a phone ringing, sharp, metallic, slicing the silence. The sound came from the 13th floor. He frowned. No one used that level anymore. It had been locked for years, ever since the renovation stalled. No lights, no tenants, no furniture. The ring persisted. He picked up his walkie-talkie. "Control, you hearing this?" Only static. The ringing grew louder, insistent. He swore under his breath, grabbed his flashlight, and entered the elevator. As the doors closed, the ringing cut off abruptly. He exhaled. Relief flickered, but when the elevator opened on the 13th floor, the phone began to ring again. Introduction, 900 words. The corridor stretched out in dusty silence. Fluorescent tubes overhead flickered faintly, casting weak halos of light. Each office door was shut, glass walls smeared with neglect. The ringing came from the far corner, a reception desk covered in plastic sheets. Rizwan's footsteps echoed. His throat tightened. The phone sat there, old and yellowed, its cord twisted. He stared at it, then reached out with a trembling hand. The ringing stopped. Silence pressed against him. He almost laughed, until the receiver clicked by itself and lifted, as if an invisible hand had picked it up. A hiss. Then a voice, his own. "Don't hang up." Rizwan froze. The voice wasn't recorded. It was live, raw, urgent. Exactly his pitch, his breath, even his nervous swallow. "Hello?" His own voice replied, a second delayed. "Don't hang up." He dropped the receiver. It clattered against the desk, but didn't disconnect. The voice kept whispering from the floor. "You're not supposed to be here." He stumbled back, heart pounding, light trembling in his hand. He turned to leave, but the elevator doors were shut tight. The button flickered red, out of service. Another phone rang. This time inside one of the empty offices, then another, and another. Soon the entire 13th floor trembled with shrill, overlapping rings. He covered his ears, shouted, "Stop it!" Every phone went dead at once. The silence after was worse. He forced himself to breathe. It's a prank, some wiring glitch. Maybe IT guys left a test line active, yet he knew no one had been on this floor for years. The receiver on the ground hissed again. Static formed words, "You won't leave." "Who is this?" His voice cracked. "You know me." "I am you." He stared at the phone. His reflection in the dark glass wall looked pale, unsteady. For a wild moment, he thought his reflection's lips moved a second later than his own. The line whispered, "Answer, or you'll never go home." Another ring. This time from the office behind him. He forced the door open. Inside, dust, overturned chairs, and a single desk with a black phone. It rang without pause. He picked it up with shaking hands. "Hello?" This time the voice was calm, familiar, terrifying. "You shouldn't have picked up. Now they know you're here." His hand went cold. "Who?" The line clicked dead, and the lights went out. The corridor dissolved into blackness. His flashlight beam jittered across walls. Something whispered behind him. Not one voice, many, all of them were his. Some cried, some pleaded, some laughed. They overlapped in chaos. "Run! Don't run! They're watching. You never left this floor." His breath came ragged. He ran toward the elevator, slamming the button. The doors screeched, refusing to open. Phones along the corridor lit up in sequence, ring after ring chasing him. He kicked open the stairwell door, bolted down the steps. But every landing looked the same, 13th floor, over and over again. He dropped to his knees, screaming, "Let me out!" A final phone rang, directly beside him on the landing. Old black, its cord curling like a vein. "Against all reason," he answered, on the other side, his voice whispering as if from inside his chest. "You already know how this ends." Then silence. The stairwell door creaked open by itself. Beyond it, not the lobby, not the exit, but the same reception desk, the same phone lying off the hook. Rizwan staggered forward, trapped in an endless loop. Phones began to ring again, one by one. His screams were swallowed by their shrill chorus. Morning guards found the 13th floor sealed, just as always. Yet when they checked the CCTV, one camera showed Rizwan pacing the corridor, talking frantically into a dead phone. Hours of footage. His mouth moved in desperate arguments, his body jerking as if pulled by unseen hands. When they unlocked the floor, the desk was empty. No Rizwan, no phone, only his logbook, left unfinished at the lobby desk. The last line written in his handwriting, "Don't hang up." And some guards swear, when they lock up at midnight, they still hear a phone ringing faintly above. The apartment was too quiet after midnight. Sadia leaned against her kitchen counter, staring at the ticking wall clock. She had moved into the building only 3 weeks ago, grateful for the low rent, grateful for silence. Then came the whisper, a faint, dragging voice from the air vent above the stove. Words too soft to catch, but rhythmic, like someone murmuring a secret into her wall. She froze. Slowly, she stepped closer, ear tilted to the vent. The voice grew clearer, a man's whisper. "You're not alone," she jerked back. The voice continued, conversational, as if speaking to someone right on the other side. "She's listening." Her skin went cold. She ran to the living room, pressed her ear to another vent. The same voice drifting softly. "Don't tell her yet. She'll know soon." Her phone slipped from her hand. She whispered aloud to no one, "Who's there?" And the whisper answered, calm and certain, "Your neighbor." Sadia's new apartment on the 7th floor was small but comfortable. Cream walls, old furniture, humming fridge. Her job kept her late, so she loved the stillness of the nights. But now silence wasn't comfort. It was threat. That first night, she convinced herself it was nothing. Maybe a drunk tenant, maybe pipes shifting. But the whispers came back the next night, clearer, through the vent above her bed. "She can hear us." Does she know? She doesn't know. Her stomach tightened. She sat upright in bed, whispering, "Who are you?" The answer floated through the vent, almost gentle. "I told you." "Your neighbor." She pressed her palm flat against the vent, metal cold against skin. "What do you want?" The voice chuckled, dry, humorless. "Nothing yet." By the third night, she could no longer sleep. During the day, she asked the building manager casually, "Who lives in 7B? "Next to me." He frowned. 7B, no one. "Vacant 3 years now. Owners overseas. Why?" Her throat went dry. "No reason." That night, the whispers started again, filling every vent, sliding along the walls like smoke. "She asked about me." "She's afraid now." "Good." Sadia stopped cooking, stopped sleeping near the vents. She kept the TV loud, headphones tighter, anything to drown the voices. But they slipped in anyway, under the static, beneath the noise. One evening she shouted, "Leave me alone!" The whisper responded instantly, right behind the vent in the living room. "Why? You invited me?" "I did not." "You moved here." "That's enough." Her hands shook. She grabbed her phone, called the manager again. "There's someone in 7B. I hear him at night." "No chance," the manager said, tired. "That place is sealed. Padlock on the door." "You're imagining it." That night, she dreamed of vents opening like mouths, black air pouring out. She woke to the whisper at her ear. "We know your secrets, too." Her blood froze. "What secrets?" The voice listed them one by one. Childhood fears. A fight she'd had with her sister last year. Things she had never spoken aloud to anyone in this city. Her own words, twisted, repeated back to her. "You said you hate being alone. That you'd rather die than live without someone's voice near you." She slapped the vent shut with tape. The voice laughed behind the metal. "Doesn't work." "I'm already in." By the 5th night, she was unraveling. Shadows deepened in the corners. Every vent seemed to breathe. The whispers turned cruel. "She's weak. She doesn't belong here. Tell her what happens next." Finally, she snapped. She stormed into the hallway, pounding on the door of 7B. "Enough! Stop it! I know you're in there!" Silence. She grabbed the padlock, yanking hard. It was rusted, but still intact. Then, click, it slid open by itself. Her breath caught. The door creaked inward, revealing total darkness. The apartment was empty. Bare floors. No furniture, no curtains, just dust and cobwebs. Yet the air vibrated with whispers. She came. She came inside. Her phone light cut through the dark. Every vent grill she passed seemed to tremble, vibrating like vocal cords. At the center of the living room, a single vent cover had been unscrewed, lying on the floor. The black duct yawned open. From it, her own voice whispered, "Sadia." She dropped the phone. It landed flashlight up, casting beams along the dust. Shadows spilled across the walls, forming the shapes of faces pressed against thin metal screens. The voices all together. Welcome home. The vent roared with sound. Deafening, 1,000 whispers layered as one. She screamed. Morning came. Neighbors in the hallway found the door of 7B standing open. The apartment was still empty, silent, untouched for years. Only her phone lay in the center of the floor, screen cracked, flashlight dead. The police searched Sadia's unit. Nothing unusual, except every vent grill was bent inward as if something had been pressing from the other side. The case went nowhere. Official report. Tenant abandoned property, but other residents began to notice it. At night, whispers creeping through the vents. First soft, then sharper. Some swore they heard a woman's voice among them begging, "Don't listen. Don't answer. Don't move in." The highway was deserted after midnight. Aman gripped the steering wheel, eyelids heavy, the white line stretching endlessly under the headlights. Beside him, his best friend Farouk fiddled with the car radio, trying to find something other than static. Then a voice cut through. Calm, clear, male, 2 men in a silver Corolla. One driving, one awake, pretending he's not afraid. They froze. The radio wasn't on any station, just blank air, and yet the voice continued. They're at mile marker 47 now, exactly where they should be. Farouk turned the knob wildly. No change. The voice followed, smooth and certain. Don't bother. I'll keep talking. I like describing things. Aman's throat tightened. He whispered, "Is this some kind of prank?" The voice chuckled softly through the speakers. "No, this is your story." The night pressed heavy against the windshield. Aman felt sweat prickling at the back of his neck. Though the AC was on. "Turn it off," he muttered. "I'm trying." Farouk snapped, twisting the dial. But the voice only grew louder, filling the car. "They're panicking. They think they can turn me off. They can't." Farouk's hands shook. "This is sick. Somebody's tracking us. No signal out here," Aman said, though his voice faltered. His eyes flicked to the fuel gauge. Half a tank. No lights on the horizon. Just endless road. The radio crackled again. He's lying to himself. He knows I'm not anyone he can explain. He knows it already. Farouk slammed his hand against the dashboard. "Shut up." Silence. For a moment, only the hum of tires. Relief flickered. Then the voice whispered again, softer this time. "Don't fall asleep, Aman. You'll need to be awake when it happens." The car rattled down the lonely highway. Every few miles, the radio returned, describing things neither man had spoken aloud. He's thinking about calling his mother when he gets home. She won't answer. The one in the passenger seat keeps glancing at the driver, wondering if he's losing his mind. Farouk cursed under his breath. "This isn't real. Tell me this isn't real." Aman gripped the wheel tighter, his knuckles white. "Just ignore it. It's interference. Some old broadcast." The voice laughed, a hollow, distorted sound. "No, it's not old. It's happening now. Look." Headlights appeared ahead, a lone gas station buzzing with pale fluorescent lights. They pulled in, desperate for human presence. The station looked abandoned, but the pumps glowed faintly. Aman rolled down the window to see if anyone was inside. The radio whispered, "2 men stopped for gas. They think they're safe now." "They're not." Farouk shut it off completely, yanking the knob. The voice stopped, relief again. They both exhaled. Inside the gas station, aisles of dusty snacks, a buzzing fridge. No clerk, no movement, just the fluorescent lights humming like flies. Farouk whispered, "Let's just get out of here." As they turned back toward the car, the radio switched itself on. They found no one. Because no one works there anymore. Aman slammed the door, starting the engine. The voice spoke faster, sharper now. And now they drive again. Past mile marker 62. "Almost there. Almost what?" Aman shouted. The answer came calm, chilling. "The crash." The car sped back onto the highway, panic rising like smoke inside the cabin. "What crash?" Farouk yelled at the radio. "The one that kills one of you." "It's not far now." Farouk's face went pale. He grabbed Aman's arm. "Pull over." "Stop the car." But Aman's foot pressed harder on the accelerator. "If I stop, it'll still happen. If I keep going, maybe I can beat it," the radio whispered, amused. "He thinks speed will change fate." He's wrong. The road ahead shimmered with heat mirages. Every sign they passed read a higher number. Mile 63, mile 64. Almost there. Aman's eyes burned. His grip on the wheel slipped with sweat. "I won't crash," he growled through his teeth. The voice answered simply, You already did. In the glare of the headlights, a deer bolted across the road. Aman swerved. Tires screamed. The world turned upside down, glass shattering, metal folding, the night filling with fire and smoke. When rescuers found the wreck at dawn, the Corolla lay twisted against a ditch, headlights still glowing faintly. Only one body was pulled from the driver's side, broken and bloodied. The passenger seat was empty, door ajar. The radio in the dashboard crackled weakly, static spilling out. Then a voice, faint but steady. One survives, one vanishes. Story told. Story done. The paramedic swore he heard another whisper under the static, softer, almost drowned. Your turn. Hospitals after midnight never truly slept. The fluorescent lights buzzed faintly above sterile tiles, the air carrying the sharp tang of antiseptic. Aisha, the night nurse, flipped through patient charts at the station, her eyelids heavy. Then she heard it. Laughter, high-pitched, playful. Children's laughter drifting from the East Wing. Her pen slipped from her hand. The East Wing had been closed for years, doors locked, lights off, the whole floor under renovation. No one was supposed to be there, but the sound came again, clearer this time. Giggles, footsteps pattering on tile, a sing-song voice echoing faintly. Come play. Aisha pushed her chair back, heartbeat rising. She glanced at the security feed. The East Wing cameras were black. No signal. Still, the laughter carried on, now joined by whispers. Children whispering to each other, like a secret passed down the hall. She stood slowly, flashlight in hand. The corridor stretched ahead like a throat of silence. The voices rose in unison, calling her name. Aisha. Her shoes squeaked faintly as she stepped into the deserted East Wing. Dust lined the floors. Plastic sheets hung over broken gurneys. The smell was heavier here, old and stale. Hello. Her voice cracked in the emptiness. Anyone here? No answer. Only the soft echo of giggles bouncing between rooms. She moved carefully. Her flashlight beam cutting across peeling walls and faded murals, painted suns and stick-figure children, relics of a pediatric ward long abandoned. The sound of bouncing echoed, like a ball hitting tile. Thump, thump, thump. Her throat tightened. She whispered, "This isn't funny." A small voice answered from behind a door. We're not joking." She froze. The handle rattled, though she hadn't touched it. The door opened a crack by itself, revealing darkness. Inside, rows of old children's beds, white paint peeling. For a moment it seemed empty. Then she saw them, tiny shapes standing between the beds, their faces obscured by shadow. Still, silent, watching. Her flashlight flickered once, and when the beam steadied, the children were gone. Aisha stumbled backward. The laughter erupted again, this time circling her, echoing from all directions. "Catch us. Follow. We're waiting." Her breath came fast. She clutched her ID badge like a talisman. "You're not real." "You're not," a sharp whisper hissed by her ear. "We are." She spun, light slicing the air. Nothing, just walls, just dust. She hurried back toward the station, but the corridor stretched longer than before, endless doors lining the sides. Every door she passed creaked open a little, revealing empty beds, abandoned toys, wheelchairs rusted in corners. In one room, her flashlight caught a patient chart still pinned to the wall. She stepped closer, the name, patient, Aisha Khan, age 6. Her stomach lurched. She tore the paper down with shaking hands. Beneath it, more records, yellowed with age. Names of children, all with death dates, she whispered. This isn't possible." A chorus of voices rose from the vents above, singing in a broken unison. "Stay with us, Aisha. You were one of us." Her flashlight flickered violently, plunging her into strobe flashes of dark and light. With each flicker, shapes appeared in the hall. Children crouched, crawling along the walls, faces pale and eyeless, mouths split wide in laughter. The lights buzzed back on, and the hall was empty again. Her radio crackled at her belt. Another nurse's voice came faintly. "Aisha? Where are you? You're not showing on the cameras." She grabbed it, nearly sobbing. "I'm in the East Wing. Please, come get me." Static. Then a child's giggle through the radio. "We already did." Her legs gave out and she sank to the floor. "Please," she whispered into the dark. "What do you want from me?" The answer came from everywhere at once. To play, doors slammed open up and down the corridor. The sound of children's feet thundered toward her. Laughter grew deafening, pressing against her skull. She scrambled up, running blindly. The corridor twisted in impossible ways, bending back on itself. No matter how far she ran, she passed the same mural of a painted sun again and again. Then she saw them. Dozens of children, standing shoulder to shoulder at the far end of the hall. Pale skin stretched thin, hospital gowns stained with age. Their mouths opened in unison, laughter silent now, only their lips moving. A single voice emerged, layered and echoing. "You belong here." The children rushed forward, their faces blank, eyes hollow pits. Aisha screamed, slamming through a door, only to find herself back in the same pediatric ward she had entered before. This time, every bed was occupied. Children lay in each one, sheets tucked up to their necks. Their eyes snapped open together, all fixed on her. One small boy sat up slowly, his voice clear, cutting through the others. "Stay." The door slammed shut behind her. Morning arrived. The East Wing was silent again. Dust undisturbed. Lights off. Security checked the feeds. At 2:17 a.m., the camera for the East Wing flickered alive for 3 seconds. In the grainy footage, Aisha could be seen standing in the hallway, arms limp at her sides, children's shadows stretching around her feet. Then the feed cut out. Her station desk remained untouched. Her ID badge lay on the counter. Her name had been crossed off the roster in neat handwriting, though no one admitted to doing it. Some nights, patients still report hearing laughter drifting through the vents. Children playing, and sometimes a nurse's voice among them softly whispering, "Come play with us." The house was silent except for the tick of the old wall clock. Sammy sat on his bed, phone in hand, the glow cutting through the darkness. He wasn't supposed to call. He knew that. His grandmother's warning had been sharp. Never dial your own number at midnight. Not even by mistake. The one who answers, isn't you? He laughed it off at first. Old tales, village superstitions. But the thought gnawed at him. It was 11:59 p.m. His finger hovered over the keypad. Just a prank for himself, he thought. Just to hear the line go dead at the stroke of midnight. He pressed call. The ringing began. Once, twice, 3 times. Then, click. The line connected, a breath on the other end. Slow, heavy, like someone exhaling right into his ear. "Hello?" The voice was his. Exactly his, and it whispered, "I've been waiting for you to finally call." Sammy froze, phone trembling in his hand. The room seemed to shrink around him, the air heavy and stale. His own voice echoed in his head. Not a recording, not an echo, not possible. He tried to force a laugh. "Okay, very funny. Who is this?" The other him chuckled, low, uneven. "You know who I am." "You know what I am. I've heard every thought you've ever had. I've watched every lie you told yourself." The connection crackled, but the words were unmistakable. Sammy stood, pacing his room, eyes darting to the dark corners where shadows thickened. "This isn't real. It's some scam, a recording, something." But the voice grew closer, whispering, not through the phone anymore, but inside his ear. "Don't hang up. If you do, I'll come into the room instead." His hand stiffened around the phone. His legs felt locked as though the call had rooted him in place. For the first time, Sammy realized he wasn't alone. The call didn't end. Minutes stretched. Sammy's own voice continued speaking to him, weaving memories only he could know. His first lie in school. The day he thought of stepping into traffic but didn't. The secret shame he never confessed to anyone. "You've been living a borrowed life," the voice said. "I'm the one meant to be here. You're the mistake." Sammy pressed the phone away from his ear, but the voice bled out from the speaker, filling the room. No matter how far he held it, it was everywhere. The lights flickered. The clock tick grew slower. He tried calling out, "Ami? Abba?" Silence. The house swallowed his words. His parents' room just across the hall was dark and empty, as though no one had ever lived there. The voice sighed. "You'll see them again." On my side, objects began to shift. His study chair creaked forward as if someone unseen sat in it. The wardrobe door swung open an inch. Sami's reflection in the mirror didn't move when he did. It stayed, watching. Panicked, he ran to the door, locked. Not by his hand. The key twisted on its own, falling to the ground. He turned back. The reflection in the mirror lifted a phone to its ear and smiled. "Let me in," the voice begged, now louder, closer, nearly desperate. "You called me. That means you chose." "I'm coming through." The mirror's surface rippled like water. Sammy stumbled backward, pressing himself against the wall, clutching his phone like a lifeline. He screamed into it. "What do you want from me?" The other voice, his voice, answered calmly. "Your place." The reflection stepped forward. Its eyes were darker, emptier, and its grin stretched unnaturally wide. "No." Sammy hurled the phone at the mirror. The glass cracked, but instead of shattering, it bled black liquid that seeped across the floor. The reflection reached out a hand. Sammy felt fingers, cold, skeletal, wrap around his wrist. He tried to pull back, but the grip was iron. The voice screamed through every surface now. The phone, the mirror, the walls, the floorboards, until the whole room vibrated with his own voice. "You shouldn't have called." Sammy's body jolted as he was yanked forward. His last sight of the room was the untouched phone lying on the floor, screen black. The mirror swallowed him. Morning came quietly. His mother knocked on the bedroom door. "Sammy, wake up, you'll be late." No answer. She opened the door and found him sitting on the edge of his bed, phone in his hand. He looked pale, distant, but smiled faintly. "I'm fine, Ami, just didn't sleep." She nodded, relieved. The door shut, but Sammy wasn't there anymore. His eyes lingered on the mirror. The cracks had vanished. His reflection now moved perfectly with him. Too perfectly. The phone in his hand buzzed once. A missed call. From his own number. He chuckled softly, the same uneven laugh that didn't belong to him. And when he whispered into the receiver, it wasn't his voice at all. "Finally, I'm here." The line went dead.